All right, back in the writer's room with the NHL.com guys. And before we reveal our top 50 NHL players right now, specifically the top 5 list, you guys are going to give your top 5 list. So, Sean, I'll start with you. 5 through 1. Who's in your top 5 right now?
Evgeny Malkin's number 5. Unfortunately, he gets lost a little bit with Crosby. But world-class player on his own, can do so much from that number 2 center, can move up when he needs to. I have Drew Doughty at number 4. There's never any defenseman on this list. We're always so center-heavy and then big goal scorers. But who's the guy that everybody wants when a game's on the line? They want a good defenseman out there. And I know Drew wasn't the top defenseman on the list that came out amongst the defensemen. I'm putting him at the top of mine, and I'm putting him in top 5. Nobody plays more minutes. Nobody plays harder minutes. Nobody does everything that he does. And his will to win and his will to lead, I think, are above the other guys that would be in that conversation. Alexander Ovechkin at number 3. He would be there anyways, but after the year he had and the way he played in the playoffs, he answered, I think, a lot of questions from people who might want to move him down and say he's a one-dimensional player. I don't think that's the case anymore. And then you have your classic 1-2 debate, right? Is it Connor McDavid or is it Sidney Crosby? For me, it's Sidney Crosby. And again, it goes back to some of the things that we've discussed in other segments. Show me your resume. Connor McDavid has a great resume. He's going to be the first player to go for 300-point seasons in a row since Alexander Ovechkin did it. Crosby's never done it. But now let's go look at Crosby's resume. Gold medals in the Olympics, Stanley Cups, MVP awards, leading scorer awards, and just think about the little things in his game, right? One year he wasn't good at faceoffs. He spent his whole summer working on faceoffs. Like, he's a guy that just understands that it's all the pieces that make the whole, and if there's one part that's not right, he's going to go fix it. I don't know that Connor's there yet. Connor's a great player. He does a lot of great things, but he's still out-of-your-seat skill guy. Crosby's not that guy anymore. He'll take you out of your seat. He'll do things you've never seen done before, but you'll spend the other 20 minutes that he plays just going, wow, that was good. Wow, that was good. Never, oh, that's no good. Like, he's almost like a robot, right? Yeah. When he plays, like, you just watch and you admire.
What do you admire about his list? Is yours similar? Your
it's
top
very,
5?
very similar. I have Drew Doughty at number 5,
Okay.
60 points this past year. He really benefited from bounce-back years from guys like Kopitar and Dustin Brown because they raised their offensive games. Doughty produced more offensively, plays 27, 28 minutes every night. The guy's a beast. He can do it all. Alex Ovechkin at number 4, like Sean was saying, winning that cup erases all the bad things that people have said about Alex Ovechkin, no question about that. Evgeny Malkin at number 3, he's done it with Sid, without Sid. An elite centerman, no question about that. And the same thing with McDavid and Crosby. Connor McDavid at number 2 and Sidney Crosby at number 1. There is nothing Sidney Crosby cannot do.
All right, so similar on this side, but a little birdie tells me little shakeups over here with Adam. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm with these guys. I have Malkin on my list. I think if you can be underrated and be a top 5 player in the league, I think Evgeny Malkin is underrated. I think he just flies under the radar. He's going to score 400 goals and he's going to hit 1,000 points this year. And he almost just kind of just does his thing, and all he does is win and score, and they're successful. To me, he's a top 5 player in the league. Number 4, I have Nikita Kucherov from the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's become this elite level scorer. He was best known for his his defensive acumen. He still is that. He's still a great defensive player, and now he's an elite level scorer. At number 3, I have Austin Matthews from the Toronto Maple Leafs. To me, he is that team. He's the reason that John Tavares comes to Toronto. He's the reason that when he gets there, they go from being arguably the worst team in the league to not just a playoff contender, and now we're talking about them as a Stanley Cup contender. Number 2, Connor McDavid, for a lot of the same reasons these guys said. Connor will take you out of your seat, that breathtaking speed and the offensive ability. He's a sensational player, maybe the best scorer in the league. Sidney Crosby. And to me, he's the best player in the league. He does everything well. He wins faceoffs. He backchecks. He backchecks as well as any elite level defensive forward in the league. And he scores. He's the hardest worker in that room. You go to practice, watch Penguins practice, he's one of the last guys off the ice. He works as hard as anybody else. I think it was Max Talbot said he's got the soul of a third-line grinder with the skill of a top-line player. And when teammates see that he's a great player, but he pulls other guys along with him, that's what makes Sidney Crosby so great, and that's why, to me, he's the number 1 player on my list.
Let's go back to number 3, though. Austin Matthews, not in your top 5s. What do you think?
I don't know that.
A little too high?
I don't know that Austin Matthews is in my top 10, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Again, we've talked about it, right? It's resume.
Yeah.
Right? Austin Matthews come in, he's done great things for the Maple Leafs. There's no denying that. Are there players that have done more for their teams that could be in this top 10? I think for sure there are. And I think, when you say that Austin Matthews is the Maple Leafs and he's made them into a playoff contender, I don't think that's true. Like you look at them and you see other players like Mitch Marner, you see Nylander, you see some of their defensemen, coming along. They went out and they got Freddie Anderson as an elite level goalie that kind of helped them make that push a little bit, because I don't know that any of us could name the goalies that were before Freddie Anderson. But to me, it's the same thing as Winnipeg. It's to say that the young players that have come in there have made the Winnipeg Jets, and I don't think that's true. Patrick Laine is a huge part of what they do. Mark Scheifele's a huge part of what they do. But there were other players that were there, and there are other players that have done things. Wheeler, Bufflin. So Matthews has had a huge impact on the Maple Leafs. Is he the third best player in the league? Not on my list.
I just don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
The guys on our list,
Yeah.
the higher the stakes, the better they play. We haven't seen that from Austin Matthews. That doesn't mean that he won't be that player down the road, but right now, he's not ahead of those guys.
All right, you guys were all in agreement, though, that Sidney Crosby is number one over Connor McDavid. Let's say McDavid and the Oilers win the Cup this year. We do this list next summer. Does that change for you guys?
Not for me.
No.
No, I still think Crosby, until you see, you talk about guys at a certain age and you kind of see them kind of drop off a little bit. Well, Crosby's at that age where maybe we should start seeing him drop off a little bit. Does anybody think there's going to be any drop off in his game? Is he going to go from a 90 to 100 point guy to a 70 point guy? I don't think so. Until you see that dip in his game, to me, he's still the best player in the league. And Connor McDavid is fantastic. If I'm a fan, he's worth the price of admission every time he steps on the ice. But to me, if we're talking who the best player in the game is, if we do this list 12 months from now, assuming everybody stays healthy and everybody plays the way we expect them to play, Sidney Crosby's still number one on my list.
What about you guys?
I think, you have to tell me what Crosby's going to do. Do they make the playoffs? Does he score? All that factors into it.
Penguins miss the playoffs. McDavid and the Oilers win the Cup. What's your list look like?
Then maybe I move McDavid ahead. But I think the funny thing when you talk about this, what's the best player? Is it the most talented player? That's Connor McDavid.
Yep.
Is it the most complete player? That's Sidney Crosby. And I think that's Sidney Crosby, even if he only scores 70 points. I think there's so much that Sidney Crosby brings to his team that I don't think McDavid has learned yet, right? Crosby didn't do these things for the Penguins in his first 2 years.
Right.
He made the Penguins very good immediately, much like Adam thinks that Austin Matthews is going to make the Maple Leafs. He did that, but there were things he didn't know and he couldn't learn until he went through the crucible of those 2 Stanley Cup finals, and then that's when he learned what it took to win, what it took to be a leader, and he was surrounded by players that kind of showed him the way. That's what Connor McDavid's doing now, and until that's finished, he won't be better than Sidney Crosby.
I don't know if I've ever seen anybody accelerate the way Connor McDavid can. He is an electric skater.
It's a video game.
He really is. If the Oilers win the Cup and Connor McDavid wins the Conn Smythe, I wouldn't mind switching it, because then it's kind of almost like passing of the torch a little bit.
I like it. There's always debate in the top 5.